What is the best supplement for recovery and muscle growth? This is a question I've asked myself since I was a teenager. I read a book called Inner Athlete by Dan Millman. If you haven't read the book, check it out. It's a short read, but really powerful because he taught me the power of visualization and the power of hydration for muscles. He was an Olympic trampolinist, so he'd do all the flips on the trampolines, won a bunch of awards, and then wrote some really good books like The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. But I've been obsessed with this, and even from my teenage years, there's one supplement that stands out above all others. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can use this supplement. I'm going to show you the types of this supplement that actually causes a lot of GI distress. But I'm going to show you a very simple way where you can recover faster, increase muscle, and it doesn't cost a fortune, and it's very simple and well studied. So let's jump in. So whether you're a weekend warrior or you're a professional athlete, you've probably heard of creatine. Now, yes, we talk a lot about creatine on this channel, but we do it because it is one of the most heavily studied supplements, and it's not just for muscle building. Actually, I have a whole video that if you do 20 grams of creatine every day, it helps with cognition. And the more that I see my clients increasing the volume of creatine that they're doing, they notice the same thing. They say, I'm a little sharper. I have more mental energy towards the afternoon and evening, and I notice that my muscles feel great and they look great. So what is creatine and where is it found? Well, creatine is a molecule and it's just nitrogen atoms. And so similar to other amino acids, creatine is not one of the essential amino acids, but by having that right acid in your body, the nitrogenous acid, you get better hydration in the muscles. And the muscles also have more food to feed on, and creatine actually increases your ATP. So the energy in your muscle increases, the energy in your brain increases. So where do you find it? Well, typically you're going to find creatine in muscles. So for those of you who love a good steak, you're getting a good dose of creatine. For those of you who love fish, you're going to get some good creatine. So creatine is phenomenal. It's been utilized and studied for a long time, but not all creatine is created equal. So one of the partners that we have is a company called New BioAge, and it's a pharmacy led by Dr. Leonard Pastrana, and he's got a PhD and he's a brilliant chemist. And he's somebody who understands compounds better than probably 99% of pharmacists out there. And the great thing that he's done is he's created this product called, it's just a little I then cell water. And so the I cell water is really powerful because what he's done is he's combined these agents. And I'll provide a link in the show notes. And if you'd like to get this, this is medical grade creatine, because a lot of the complaints that I hear from my clients is that they started using creatine and it caused a lot of upset stomach. They had diarrhea, they had to go to the bathroom frequently, and that's usually the low quality creatine. But what Dr. Pastrana has done is he's realized that with creatine, if you have a couple other agents with it, you're going to get better muscle volume. You're going to notice the hydration in your muscles. You're not going to have the same cramping, and you're going to recover faster. And so what he's done is he's combined creatine with some other agents. But first of all, when he looked at this, he said, all right, what are the other protein structures that will activate more muscle building? And so he put in alanine, leucine. What alanine leucine does is, first of all, the beta alanine, it hydrates the muscle. It helps pull water into the muscles, and then what happens when your muscles are hydrated is you have better ATP production, which is phenomenal. He also added glycine, and for those of you who have ever been exposed to glyphosate, which is only about 100% of you if you live in the United States, even if you're eating perfect, glyphosate is everywhere, but what glyphosate does is it disrupts glycine. And glycine is one of the 3 essential amino acids to protect your joints. So one of the reasons we're seeing more and more athletes having these crazy surgeries, ACL tears, meniscal tears, they're through the roof. People are getting knee replacements at a younger age now more than ever before. Why is that? We have so much knowledge on how the body works, and we have so many treatments with regenerative medicine. Nobody should be getting a total knee replacement if we can catch it early enough. But one of the big contributing factors is this disruption of glycine. Now, what glycine also does is if you have healthy levels of glycine, I like doing about 12 grams a day, you're going to sleep so much better because glycine helps stabilize the glutamate in the brain, and it also stabilizes all the other amino acids. So you get better production of serotonin. You also get better circadian rhythms with glycine. And what happens when you have the alanine, leucine, you have the glycine, with the creatine is you're going to have better osmotic pressure in the muscles, and then that's going to allow you to move the sodium, potassium, calcium channels, so the ions in the muscle. You're going to have a lot more circulation, and so you're going to have better absorption of the electrolytes. So for those of you who urinate all day and you're like, I'm just peeing constantly when I drink the volume of water that you want me to, Regan, well, you need some eye cell water, because what it does is the hydration is not getting into your cells if you're urinating all day. And even if you're adding electrolytes to your water, based on the way that your adrenal profile is functioning, you're not getting it into the cells. And so this eye cell water with the alanine and the leucine, it can help pull that hydration into the muscles and into the cells. You'll feel great on it. So what is in this? Well, the first thing that you'll have is 5 grams of creatine. And creatine is an osmolyte, so it does help bring things into it by acting on the CT1 transporter. And the CT1 transporter, it's a member of the sodium chloride channel, and it's a dependent neurotransmitter that transporter. So if you think about, like, every molecule in your body has a transporter. Hormones have transporters. Creatine happens to act on one of the transporter molecules called CT1, and then you're getting better movement of your sodium, your potassium, your chloride, and you'll also notice that you get better hydration into those muscles. Glutamine is also in this formula, and what glutamine does is it leads to hepatocyte cell swelling due to the sodium-dependent uptake into the liver cells. So hepatocytes are these cells in your liver, and your liver is responsible for regulating the sodium-dependent molecule that allows you to have greater levels of electrical conductivity in the muscles. So if you think of muscles, they are very dependent on what's called neuromuscular adaptation, so the way that your brain and your muscles are communicating. And so what glutamine does is it helps benefit both of those pathways. So the final thing that happens with the eye cell water is it creates this GLP-1 synergy. So a lot of you, if you are taking a glucagon-like peptide, like a Ozempic, Mounjaro, any of these GLP-1s, what you're going to see is that you can lose muscle mass. And so what Leonard Pastrana, what he's done with his team at New BioAge, is they realized that just by having 2 scoops of the eye cell water a day, some of you may only need 1, but I like doing 2 scoops, sometimes 3, you're going to notice a dramatic difference in your body's ability to maintain lean muscle mass. Now, this has been the holy grail ever since the GLP-1s came to the marketplace. Everybody's asked the same question, well, how can we help people maintain the lean muscle when they're losing weight? Because a lot of studies show that it's mostly muscle mass that a lot of people are losing when they have large volumes of muscle to lose. And I have great videos on Ozempic and muscle loss and how to circumvent that. But one of the best ways you can do that I found is using this eye cell water by New BioAge. Now, yes, you do need to go to the office if you're interested in getting this. You can just go to agelessfuture.com and just see if this is right for you. But one of the other things that they found is that people who are on a GLP-1, they lose their thirst, and so they forget to drink fluids throughout the day. And so by adding in the eye cell water, what they found is that not only do they get water where it needs to go, but it reactivates that thirst response. So if you are somebody who's not thirsty ever, this is going to be a phenomenal way that you can reactivate that pathway in your brain. But the final thing that you want to consider when you're building muscle, and like I mentioned, the best supplement for muscle growth is creatine. The best peptide is based on what your body reveals, and that's where we've got to run your blood work. But the other thing you want to be looking at is adding in the creatine, but making sure you're getting ideally a gram of protein for every pound of body weight of protein. And so getting healthy protein is something that can really help facilitate the muscle building, especially if you're in a weight loss mode or if you're in a cutting mode. And so creatine, specifically creatine monohydrate, is one of the most effective ways that you can build muscle. And when you use the iCell water, you're going to have the alanine, the leucine, and the glutamine, and you're going to notice that your body's hydration feels so much better. So you can go farther, longer, faster, you get stronger, all those things. So if you are interested in going deeper into finding out what supplements specifically outside of creatine are going to be best for you, then you can go to agelessfuture.com and talk to one of my health span experts. And what they'll do is help you get the right testing. And then my medical team will go and put a protocol together for you that's customized. So go to agelessfuture.com. Appreciate you watching the video. I'll see you there.